Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm bringing you a more personal story time. I got a really good response from the last one that I did on my previous relationship, and I thank you guys so much for watching my videos and telling me if you liked them or not. It really helps me to know if I should make more videos or like what content I should bring to you guys, and I'm really happy that you guys enjoy my deal videos and my lifestyle videos, and I just really appreciate all you guys' support. So thank you guys so much for all of that. If you like this video, as per usual, let me know, give it a thumbs up, and tell me down below what other story times you want to hear about. I've made one story time on my haunted house that I lived in so far, and I did a story time on my abusive relationship. So you guys have really enjoyed those. Thank you guys so much. So this one is going to be something that I was conflicted about talking about because I didn't know what the response was going to be from this. But it's something that I feel like would be a lot better if I talked about. After I made my abusive relationship, oh, sorry guys, the sun is like, all of a sudden when I decide to film my second video for the day, the sun decided to just peek out right in front of my window. But anyways, sorry if the lighting is weird, you guys. I have blinds in front of my window, so you're gonna see like lines in the view, but we gotta work with what we have. So yeah, I felt a lot better after I filmed that video, so I figured if I talked about this, I would probably have a little bit of like closure with the situation. So if any of you are going through a situation like this, I just want to let you guys know that everything is going to be okay. It is not your fault that any of this happened to you, and that if you ever need like help or somebody to talk to, that my channel is very open, that you are more than welcome to message me or ask questions, or have me maybe do like an anonymous video because you guys want to know certain things. Any of that. My channel is very open. I want it to be very open, not just with my deals and showing you guys how me and my fiance are saving money, but also how I'm growing and becoming a better person along with him. So yeah, so like I said, if you guys need anything, if you guys are going through this situation, if you guys find this video helpful, I really hope you do. And yeah, so I've been rambling for like 3 minutes now. I'm going to go in and start with my story. So this story happened at wasn't my last job, but my job before that. So I guess you want to say like 2 jobs ago. I had a job that I worked for a very long time. I'm not going to say where that job was just for personal reasons, but anybody who's like a personal friend on my channel will already know what the story is. So I had that job for a very long time. I worked my way up as far as I could in that store, and I was doing very well at this store. Now I can't remember why this person started working at our store. I'm going to call him Jake for this video. I obviously don't want to name him, so I'm going to call him Jake. So I think that, oh, okay, my memory kind of clicked now. So basically what happened is we went through a lot of store managers at this location. We just had a lot of like, not necessarily turnover, they were more like leaving to other stores just because we had so many stores opening and they needed more people. So we had 2 managers leave to go to separate stores. The second manager that left, he left obviously his assistant manager to be running the store, and that assistant manager did not do very well. There was issues with him stealing from the company. There was issues with him just not being a good manager in general. So they decided to remove him, and they brought this new person in from, she kind of lived like on the outskirts of San Antonio. She wasn't like out in like the boonies somewhere, but she was like not from San Antonio. But they brought her to the store. I don't remember why, or like if they had already planned this ahead of time before they brought her, but they brought her. And when she came, she brought the people that she worked with and like mentored and stuff with her. Sorry guys, my dogs were scratching at the door and I was wondering what that noise was. But yes, she brought people, I guess, like she mentored with her, so that the sun's coming back, you guys, sorry. so that they could help us at the store. We weren't necessarily like shorthanded, but I think she felt better if she had the people who she really trusted and knew could do a really good job at the store with her. So she brought them down, and one of those people, Jake, became my very close friend, and we would talk a lot, and we would kind of tell each other like personal things that were going on. More so me, because this was a time where I was kind of like getting out of my relationship that I talked about in my last video. So he was kind of somebody that I had a very close relationship with, that I kind of just looked up to because he was a little older than me. So he was able to kind of give me some advice on certain things that I was not too sure of, or maybe just hadn't experienced yet. So we grew a very good understanding of each other and a very close-knit relationship. We enjoyed talking to one another and just being there for one another. This sun is so bad. Sorry, you guys. Anyway, we just got very close. But I kind of was already I was focusing my attention more on my job, and I had a relationship that was kind of like brewing, if you want to say it that way. Like, I was talking to somebody, so I really had my attention on that, not necessarily like him and what he was doing. But I would notice that he kind of wanted to just be very close to me, I guess, which I didn't mind. I liked having, friends, and like I said, was going through like a kind of like an awkward stage. So I kind of just didn't pay attention to signs, and maybe other people will be like, girl, why didn't you see that before? But I just didn't, I guess, because I was going through so much. Like I said, I wanted to like focus on my job all the time, and this person that I was talking to, I was trying to make things work with them. And so a lot of his like flirting, if you want to call it, I guess you could call it flirting, because that's pretty much what he was doing. I didn't really pay much attention to. I didn't really give a response to. I kind of just was like, okay, we're just playing around and having fun and whatever you want to call it. So obviously I just started to, I don't know, act like his best friend. I would bring him food whenever we were, like, one of us was off and the other one was working. We would just do things like, I guess you would, like a best friend would. Obviously we were coworkers, but I mean, we just had fun. We never really hung out outside of work. But there did become a time where we got extremely close because he had to take me home. I did not have a vehicle at the time, so unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but unfortunate now that I had to get him to bring me home, because there was nights where I would stay late and I would close the store. And our store was not overnight, but it was a store that stayed open until about like 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. in the morning, just to get more business during like later hours of the night. And so whenever I would have to do that, he would drive me home, because my mom would work in the morning and I didn't want her to have to, get up in the middle of the night and come get me and then get up like 3-4 hours later to go to work. So my mom was fully aware that he was the one who would take me home. So everything was fine. We would come home and we started to have like these really good conversations. Like, we would just talk for hours, and it was just a good connection that I had with this person. And maybe that is why like this whole situation happened. But anyways, so I got really close to him, and we would sit in his car for hours and just talk about life and how things worked and what he was into, because he was a very, very intelligent person. Yes, he did really stupid things, but he was a very intelligent person. I will put that out there, because I'm not going to lie and try to say that he was a complete idiot or moron, because he wasn't. So we would just kind of talk about things like that, and we would have very good conversations for a very good amount of time. And then the more that he started to take me home, the more that I noticed that he was kind of like getting a little more touchy-feely than I would like. Sometimes he would like put his hand on my leg, and I would just think nothing of it. I would try to like distract myself, look at my phone or something. And then it kind of progressed from there and to more touchy-feely things. And of course, I will be dead out honest, I didn't pay attention to anything. He would have me sit on his lap, and I'm just like, okay, and I would walk away really quickly. It would be like in like 3 seconds, and I would be on his lap and then off, so I wouldn't pay attention. I would just kind of do my normal job. Like if he wanted to like hug me or something, I'd just be like, okay, here you go, and like that was it. I didn't think of it as, oh, this is gonna lead to something huge. I would just like to point out that he was engaged. He still is engaged. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you're going to marry somebody. You obviously shouldn't be flirting with anybody else because you're engaged to somebody. Like, you have put a ring on somebody's finger to say that you're going to marry them. You shouldn't be doing something like that. And like I said, I was really like focused on trying to leave this relationship to start something else for myself and be better for myself. So I'm not paying attention to, oh, am I being flirted with? Like, am I like, is this gonna be something? Like, I don't want any of that, to be flat out honest. So this continues, and I'm just kind of like, okay, like, it's just, I'm just not, what am I going to do? Like, I say something every once in a while, and if it's not anything that's harming me, because it wasn't like anything like, oh, he stuck his hand in my pants or anything like that. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do anything. And that is something that maybe I shouldn't have done, or I know that I shouldn't have done. But like I said multiple times in this video, I was just kind of whatever about it at that time. Until the first night that we went home, and we're just talking like we normally do for a couple, I wouldn't want to say like a couple hours, maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're just kind of talking, and he starts getting closer, and he starts getting in my pants, and I'm kind of like, okay, not feeling this. Like, I'm not comfortable at all. I don't like it. Like, he's married. That's my, or engaged. He's engaged. That's the thing that I just didn't understand. I was kind of like, sorry guys, the sun is just getting worse and worse and worse. But I'm kind of like, you know, you have a relationship. You need to stop. Like, why are you doing this? And he's just like, no, it's okay. And he's just like getting more and more and more progressive, and just getting like worse and worse and worse. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go now. Like, I'm gonna subtract myself from the situation, and I'm just gonna go. And obviously he wants to like sleep with me in his car in front of my mother's house. So I'm like, no, this isn't gonna happen. Like, I did a lot of stupid shit to my mother when I was little, but I'm not gonna do this. Like, I'm not going to, one, risk my job, because that's my job, that's my coworker, and I'm not going to ruin an engagement that I know nothing about. I don't know this woman. I don't want to, you know, make her feel like, you shouldn't, like, I don't even know if she knows, to be completely honest. And how are you gonna feel when you know that your fiance is trying to have sex with another woman? Like, I don't know. So that happened. I removed myself from that situation. That night, I should have said something, but being the stupid little one that I was, I didn't say anything. I was just like, I'm gonna just go to sleep and forget that it ever happened, because I was just that kind of person. I'm not really that kind of person now, probably because one, YouTube, and two, just being on my own and being more social. I've stopped being like the quiet person that was like, I'm not going to say anything because if they don't believe me, or like all the what ifs kind of stopped me from saying anything. And that's just something that I deal with personally. It's something that you kind of have to just tell your mind not to do, and to not think of the what ifs, and just, you know, address the problem. But I didn't do that. So sorry, you guys. The sun is awful. Not much I can do about it because I need the natural lighting to film this video. But so I didn't say anything. That night went on, and of course he's telling me that he got home safe and is still talking to me a little bit, and I'm kind of like, to be honest, I really don't care. Like, I just want to go to sleep and forget that you did anything, and that we like had any kind of talk or anything that happened tonight. I don't want to think about it, right? So I go to bed, and everything is okay besides the sexting that I'm still getting, and I'm just trying to ignore it because it's just a text message. I'm just ignoring it. I'm just not not going to address it at all. Like, it's a lot easier to, ignore a text than it is to stop a person that's, face to face with you and a lot stronger than you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna fix the light real quick. Let me see if I can fix this situation real quick. I'm gonna try to, okay, maybe that'll be a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little better. Not really, but I tried. I'm sorry, you guys. I tried to make the lighting better for you. So yeah, like I said, it's a lot easier to kind of just push a text message to the side and not pay any attention to it, which is exactly what I did. I just left it alone, kind of just was like, okay, it's just whatever. I'm not going to pay any attention to it. Then the night that my heart's racing like a million times a minute. The night that everything went down was a night that we were closing the store, and it was me, him, and another manager that was, why was he there? Oh, he was taking over for the store manager that originally brought Jake to the store. She was gone, and he was not gone for good, but she was gone, and he was kind of supervising over, and for some reason we were all there. I don't remember why we were all there, why we were scheduled. I don't remember. I think one of us was like, I think we all had separate jobs. That's why all three of us were there. But anyway, so all three of us were there. And I go into the refrigerator that we had because we have to do inventory at the end of the night. And a bulk of our stuff is in there. And we have to count it all and, see what's there and all that good stuff. So I'm there actually wanting to count it and make sure everything is right, because I was still, I think, training, I want to say I was, or maybe I was already a manager at that time. No, I was a manager at that time, but I was still like fairly new and I wanted to do things properly. So I'm in there, and for some reason, I still to this day truly believe that the other manager that was there knew what was going to happen, because it's not necessarily soundproof in that refrigerator. Like, you can hear, like, if somebody's banging something, you can hear it. And there was like banging of shelves and stuff, like I'll get into just a second. So you would have to hear at least something, like something small, or you would have to hear some kind of noise coming from that refrigerator. So I go in there and I'm counting something, and he's in there after me. And I think, okay, we're just counting together. He wants to help me because I needed to weigh things, and I'm not good with like ounces and pounds and like converting things and stuff like that. And sometimes we have to do that. So I'm thinking that he's just in there going to help me make sure that I do everything properly. And then from what I can remember, because honestly, like, I don't even want to remember this day, but I kind of have to for this video. I'm up against a shelf and he's trying to kiss me, and I'm just like, okay, you need to get off me. Like, I don't want to be in here. One, it's cold, and two, again, you're engaged and this is wrong. Like, it shouldn't be happening. So he's like right here, and I'm kind of just like, okay, you need to move. Like, you need to get off. I need to finish, doing what I'm doing. So there's two. Well, were there two shelves? Yeah, there was two shelves in this freezer. So the door is right here, like where my chest is, and there's two shelves here. So where that first incident happened, I was over here, and so I decided to go to this shelf and to count what's over here so that I'm within some distance of him. He goes over to that shelf, and I feel arms coming behind me, and I think, okay, he's moving me out of the way or something. And he's not. He then proceeded to bend me over, and I'm not going to go into details on that because my heart's already racing really fast, and you guys can kind of put the picture together of why I was bent over in that position. So I am pretty much livid now, because I'm like, I'm livid, but I'm also frozen because I don't know how to just, I froze. And I'm sure people watching this video are like, you could just run and you could just, push him. But in that moment, my body was just still. Like, I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. I was just still. So I finally am allowed to stand up, and I try to leave. And at this point, this is where I think that somebody knew what was happening and nobody said anything, because I was pushed against, oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry about the sun. I was pushed against this shelf. And this shelf, if it goes against the wall, you're going to hear it on the other side, basically. So this shelf goes against the wall because I slam into it. And nothing is said, right? Like, nothing, nobody comes out and says anything. It's just, I don't know, it's just supposed to happen when you're counting inventory, that the shelf is supposed to slam into the wall. So I'm freaking out now, right? Because he's a lot stronger than me. So all he has to do is hold me down like this, and he pretty much has control over me. So I don't remember exactly how the struggle, if you want to call it, went down. But basically, I was fighting with him to get off, and I remember that I had a bruise on my back because I had to obviously say something at this point. It took me a while, but I said something, and I remember vividly that I had a bruise because at first, obviously, nobody really wants to believe that this happened. They weren't like, oh, you're a liar. It was just like, why, kind of. So I vividly remember because they had to look at me, and I said, look, I have a bruise here. And I remember I wore long sleeves for like 2 weeks after that happened because I had scratch marks from where I was being pulled and kind of like tugged around and stuff like that. So after that had happened, we finally get out, and that manager was not even 10 feet away from the refrigerator. And he kind of has a smirk on his face. And at that moment, I know, I have a sinking feeling in my stomach that something was, like, somebody knows something between the two of them. And I'm just kind of like the one in the corner that's supposed to act like I didn't see that happen. So, yeah. So after that, I did go through a really hard time of not wanting to say anything. And still to this day, I don't really, like, I haven't talk to like a police officer. I didn't talk to our supervisor above the store manager. I didn't do any of that. But it's not a good situation at all, definitely. But like I said in the beginning of this video, if you guys are watching this video because you're going through the same situation, just know that it's not your fault. There's nothing that you did or that I did in this situation to ask for this. It's just a very unfortunate situation, and it's a very unfortunate thing that this man has to act this way. And honestly, for my situation, I just hope that karma comes around and treats him the way that he treated me. But I definitely think that there's nothing wrong with getting help. It definitely can bring you some closure when you know that either this person is, you know, locked away or was punished in some way, or, you know, that people know what he did or she did or whatever. But my situation was just a little bit different, but I did want to bring this to you guys, like I said, because you guys really enjoyed my last personal story time, and I think that I would find a lot of closure in just letting it out to somebody besides my fiance. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be back in like a day or so with a more happy video, but I appreciate all of you guys who have stopped and are watching this video. And please let me know down below more videos that you would like to see, and subscribe if you're new so you can be part of my family. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.